G'day legends, and welcome back to another review, and today we're looking at BRM's Porsche 917K. This little puppy has their latest racing chassis, so stick around, full unboxing, and we're going to put it to the test around our wood routed track. Let's go! So before we dive headfirst to putting the 917K to the test around our track, what do you get when you purchase one of these inside the box? Well, let's kick it off with some of my favorites. It's a sticker. I think it's the simple things that I like. You can make a billboard out of this, put it on your slot box, or keep it in the box as a collection of stickers. You've also got, and I'm going to do a little demonstration here, a little rear spoiler that goes in between the two aero flicks at the rear. I won't be running the car with this, but you get the idea that it will sit in between there. I just don't want to lose it when I'm putting this thing around our track. Probably the most important thing is a handout. Every slot car company should have one of these. It shows you what the car is. If there's any extra liveries, we've got car number 3. We are using car number 4. That's probably the main difference is the number. But there is the almighty new racing chassis, which we will put to the test today. On the inside is a full layout of the chassis showing you where the parts and pieces go, which will give you confidence to rebuild this thing. I always recommend taking these apart and putting them back together, just so you know that they're together the way you like them. And then onto the back, a little shopping guide, which if you want spare parts or any add-ons, that's where you'll be looking for that. Down to the box, the boring stuff, but I think BRM do it really well. Top right-hand corner, you can see here, we've got the livery and the number, and on the other side, we've got what car we are looking at. And to keep it safe when we're going in transport, a little plastic over the top, almost like a little lunchbox case. So that's enough of the box and the goodies that we get. Let's take a closer look at some of the finer details of this beautiful 124 scale slot car. Now, if you have seen my delivery unboxing, there's going to be some double ups here, but I will point out for this video some of the finer details. Kicking off with the headlight covers and the headlight that is, or two headlights, and looks like an indicator that sit in there beautifully. Now, of course, non-active lights. I wish every slot car came with active lights. Yes, the price would probably go up, but it would just make it more realistic. Beautiful front end on this. You can see how they've gone with the full aero effect back in the day. Air runs up and then flicks off the back, and with that little add-on, I'll give you that little push down. So onto the passenger side, beautiful 5-star deep dish rim on the rear with a massive, let's call it a Goodyear bit of tyre on it. That is huge. That's my thumb. I don't know if my thumb's big actually, but that's my thumb. Huge. Onto the front, we have got a semi deep dish front rim with the, I like the nut, how it's sitting there. I mean, I don't think we're going to be using that to take it off because you've got a grub screw inside, but I like the effect it gives. And then you've got the big silver brake disc at the rear, or replicating what looks like a brake disc. Onto the top, I love this little fan detail. Yes, it doesn't spin, but I love how they've added that on. Because we've got the doors non-opening. Imagine doors opening on a slot car and body parts. They're very, very model-like then. Onto the rear, we've got the brake and indicator, exhaust pipes, and back of the gearbox with a little spare tyre, which must be a front because it looks very skinny. Of course, you won't be using that on the car. It's just there for show. But another bit of fine details. Onto the driver's side. Now, we can see his helmet beautifully through there. Can we get his, I think we might be able to see his, no, we can't see him. He looks shocked. His eyes, hopefully I can get some B-roll, but it looks like he's seen a ghost. But there he is hanging onto the steering wheel. He's been cut off at the knees, so a pretty detailed interior, pretty black in there, to be honest. And I think that's about it when it comes to the detail side of things. But the main thing about this car that's exciting is they've gone with a new chassis. So we've got a little split section here now. It's still an aluminium chassis or a metal chassis. So if you are used to using BRM/Revo, they are still using the metal chassis, but you've got a lot of points here of adjustment. You've got some motor mount adjustments, you name it. This is definitely for the hobbyist, but out of the box, we're going to see how it goes. I am not going to touch this whatsoever. I'm going to leave it as it is out of the box, clean the tires, clean the track, and then give it a whirl. But let's have a quick look at the inside of the chassis, and then we will put it to the test. So let's take a close look at BRM's latest chassis for the 917K Porsche. Let's kick it off with the motor. We do have ourselves an angle winder BRM TRS Evo, 25,000 RPM at 12 volts. Now, if you have purchased a Revo or a BRM before, you're going to be used to seeing a lot of anodized aluminium and aluminium itself. This thing, in my opinion, is for the hobbyist. If you want to play with this and adjust it, it is ready to go. Let's flip it upside down. This is the main thing that I want to show off, how the chassis has changed in look, and I'm guessing they're hoping performance. Now I'm going to bring in an older chassis. Well, when I say old, it's still the same year, but a different chassis. Now I know it's an Opel Kadett, it's a different looking chassis, it's a different car, but you can see you got the split down the center here. You got the two-piece aluminium chassis, the center holds the motor, and that all moves independently when you start adjusting the bolt. So we have a two-piece aluminium chassis, but this one's designed a little bit different. You see the rear section here, it appears to be a three-piece chassis, but it's not. This section here, this little cutout section here, is holding on to the motor, which you can adjust here. Now I'm going to go out and say, disclaimer, I'm not a professional at setting up slot cars. I'm just showing off the visual difference with this chassis. Let's flip it upside down. It is a two-piece chassis. You can see the motor mount's been held on here, and you can see that we've got that big section that's holding the motor on. If we flip it upside down again, it must have some kind of inset so the rear section can come through. Again, still independent if you want to make it adjustments, get some body float, get some motor float, get some almost rear suspension action. Again, I'm not a professional, so there'll be better channels out there and people that can tell you how to set this up better. But it's interesting to see the design they've gone. Now, let's talking getting around the track. How am I going to do it? Well, we're going to rebuild it. We're going to clean the tires and clean the track. I'm not going to put any performance into it. Not going to true the tires. I'm not going to do any major adjustments. I'm going to make sure everything is how it was out of the box and see what we can do around our wood router track. So let's go. Let's put the 124 scale by BRM, the 917K with the new chassis. We're going to start on yellow lane. We've got 10 laps. We've got 3 heats. I'm using the +1 controller throughout the whole entire testing. We're using 11.5 volts. Tires cleaned, track is clean. Let's get into it and see how far we can go. So controller wise, standard, no adjustments. And let's see how fast we can get this around the track. I'm going to do a couple of siding laps because I haven't really driven this on yellow yet. Oh, we're off already. Keep going, keep going. What have we got? An 8.9. We can go a little bit fast. I might make some adjustments to some braking and a little bit of traction. Oh, we've come up again. That corner is a doozy. I think green's going to be a lot easier for me. We'll get to 9.4. Come on, let's go. Can we get a faster lap? Let's get back into the 8s. There we go, low 8, we're running no mag, standard out of the box. Slot Dog has entered the arena. Oh, that was pretty much the same. I'm getting a bit of a hang of it now. Let it drift through the corners. A little bit of braking as we come in. Oh, 7.8, 7.8, get back on there. I'm gonna put a little bit of braking on now just to try and calm it down into the corners. And a little bit more traction. That's a little bit better. Now let's go. Let's push it. Sensitivity is set to 0. We don't want it too sensitive. We've got an 8, maybe a little bit too much brake. We are braking very hard into the corners. 2 laps to go. Back into the 7s. Can we get a 7.6? I hope we can. I'm going to push this one. Here we go. Oh, 7.834. So our best lap for yellow was a 7.834. I was using brake at 25 points and traction at 25 points with low sensitivity or no sensitivity. Now let's move on to the next lane. Now we're in my favorite lane, green, which is the middle lane. So hopefully we can get into the lower 7s, clean the tires, clean the track. Let's hit the space bar. We're using the same settings and we'll adjust as we go. Here we go. Oh, let's get our first siding lap done. Already feel a little bit more confident in this lane. I drive this lane a lot. So I should be faster. Straight into an 8.4. Not as fast as I thought I would be. Come on. 7.7. We're already beating our fastest time, I believe. Let's see if we can get a 7.6. It's definitely in it. Remember, no mag on this car. Standard tyres. It's out of the box. We've got a 7.4. We're getting a little bit faster. I've got a bit more confidence. We've got a lot more room for error we can make. Just coasting it into that corner. This last one's a bit of a doozy. 7.4 again. Do we have a 7.3? I don't know if we actually got a 7.3. Let's try. Oh, 7.4 again. 4 more laps. Can we get a 7.3? I want to adjust the controller, but I think I shouldn't. 7.4 again. Consistency is key. Oh, that was a bit of a slip. 7.4 again. Give me a 7.3. Oh, we almost came out of the slot. This corner. I think this section here, I'm not going fast enough. 7.4 again. Last lap, can we get a 7.3? No, we just almost lost control. Ah, another 7.4. Oh, we did get a 7.3. I missed that. A 7.360. Well, there you go. I'm trying to get a 7.3. Maybe we should have aimed for a 7.2. So there we go. We are fast in the green lane, which I expected that. It's the center lane. It's the lane I drive mostly. So the fastest we've got so far is a 7.342. I think last up, orange. We'll cross and see how it goes in orange. Alrighty, so last lane, can we bet a 7.3? We moved over to orange. I've kept the same controller settings, of course, the same voltage across the track, 11.5. Tires clean, track is clean. Let's hit the space bar. Probably should wheel this over. It'll be a lot easier. I can actually move the chair table. And here we go. Oh, the controller. Here we go. How are we going to go on this one? So we're off. Bit sharper in the first corner. Oh, it is pretty quick orange, but I don't normally drive it. No, Digger's favorite lane is yellow. What are we on? An 8.9. Come on, let's step it up. We've got 9 laps to try and get at least into the 7s. All right, 7.9. Oh, we've de-slotted. Let's go get it. We've de-slotted. That's okay. We've got plenty of time. There's no one else I'm racing against. I need friends. Oh, it's a bit taily around the corner, so we might actually up the brake just a touch and the sensitivity, the traction, just so I get a better drive into the corners. That's a lot nicer. It's going to be a lot slower. That first corner is a doozy. Here we go. Got some momentum going. I was a bit hesitant around that corner. How we going time-wise? 7.9. Keep the power down. Oh, we've de-slotted again. I'm too busy looking at the time to see how we're traveling. Orange is very tricky. So if you do score orange in a race, I think it's the most challenging out of the 3. Well, let's start putting the stellar lap. Seven nine is our fastest. We are off the pace. 2 laps to go. Oh, and we've stacked in the worst spot possible. I think the last one we're going to push as hard as we can. So let's stick it on. And actually, whilst I'm here, let's talk about it. This is a bigger size 124 scale, so I'm actually impressed that this track can run it because it's just the limit. So now let's get into the last lap. So this one's going to be the longest. We've got 1 more lap after this. Let's go. Let's see the fastest lap we've done on orange. It's hitting the walls. That's okay. Rubbin's racing. I backed off a bit there. What do we get? 8 point. Oh, that's too slow. See, there you go. I'm not very good at orange. So we've done green, we've done yellow, we've done orange. Of course, green is the fastest. I'm most used to green. Well, can we go fast on the other 2 colors? Of course we can. But now I think it's time for the wrap up. So that's a wrap on my review of BRM's latest goodie, the Porsche 917K, sitting on their latest racing chassis. Big thank you to BRM. I'm not paid by them. They have sent this for review. And if you do watch the channel, you know I do like BRM and Revo. And this one is a beauty. Of course, you can do some upgrades to this to make it go faster, true the tires, play with the chassis, do some tricks to it to make it go a lot faster around my track. But I do like showing the consumer and just, I guess, the average slot car person what this could do around your track out of the box. And I hope you did enjoy that. But be safe, take care, support your local. Bye!